The Doctor Space Helmet was always one of the most sought after collectibles in Hypixel Skyblock, but can the same be said for the Space Helmet? Now, for those people who might not know too much about this topic, you might be thinking, well, is the Space Helmet not just the same as the Doctor Space Helmet? Well, the actual raw item itself is exactly the same. And sure, the Space Helmet is cool. It's a block of glass that goes on your head, you can still see your skin through it, and it changes colour every second. But it has no real use other than just looking cool, hence why it really is just a collectible. And while the nowadays Space Helmet is still a collectible, it's just not quite what it was. I'll go into a bit more detail in a little bit further into the video, but briefly, the Space Helmet at the moment is an item obtainable from the spaceman who can visit your garden. Whereas back in the day, you'd have to meet up with the ex-admin doctor, pay him some coins, and he would then give you the Space Helmet in return, and would display slightly different when you actually hover over it. The old Space Helmet would display the player who actually obtained it, so to, and in this situation, it's the player as hold and from an admin. Now it was Doctor, but for a brief period of time, it was also Lady Blue. It tells you when it was obtained, so February 2022, then also the edition number, which is really cool. Now, if someone was to take this off the stand and put it on the head, yeah, it would still look exactly the same as the one that I've got right here. It just isn't the same. Anyway, before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS, it gets yourself 5% off. You should subscribe to the channel. If you watch the videos and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video with the Slayers and Dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Now, as I mentioned before, the modern day Space Helmet is obtainable through the Spaceman NPC. The Spaceman is an NPC that shows up exclusively in the garden. They only visit you if you have garden level 15 and have served 75 unique visitors. They award the Space Helmet and have a 0.0439% or a 1 in 2,277.67 chance of appearing. When the Spaceman visits your garden, the amount of materials they ask for is based on the NPC's sell price of the randomly selected compacted material they ask for. The total sell price of the compacted materials is as close to 1 billion coins as possible. The Spaceman was introduced into Skyblock in February 2023 with the release of the garden. Now, there are positives to this. Beside it being, a little bit annoying and worse than it previously was, being able to actually have that interaction with an admin and obtain a really cool personalised item. For instance, players on Iron Man profiles would have never had the prospect of being able to get a Doctor Space Helmet, previous or prior to the Spaceman visiting the garden, considering they just simply can't trade. Anyway, as I've already mentioned, the Space Helmet was originally called the Doctor Space Helmet, as it was created by the now retired admin Doctor. Usually Doctor and occasionally Lady Blue would sell the Doctor Space Helmet for between 500 and 750 million coins. The Legacy Space Helmets purchased from an admin have an acquisition date in its lore, including 2 from edition and the date obtained. And yeah, as you can see here, 2 from edition and date. Now, interestingly enough, the Space Helmet could also be obtained from the Raffle of the Century during the Skyblock Year 300 event. Those Space Helmets appear like this and are considerably more rare than, well, the regular Space Helmet. Now, to be completely honest, getting the Space Helmet from the Spaceman, from the garden, initially was novelty. But the fact that you don't really profit from actually obtaining the Space Helmet would also probably contribute to putting a lot of people off even going ahead and accepting the Spaceman visitor. Realistically, if I was farming and the Spaceman came up, I'd say majority of people probably would decline it or just simply not accept because, well, it's expensive, and if you really want a Space Helmet, what are the negatives or drawbacks to simply buying one, or the cheapest one of the AH, that at the moment is about 750ml, and around about 250ml cheaper than actually obtaining your own. Of course, previously there was a clear benefit to obtaining your own because it would have your name, the date you obtained it, and, well, the edition number of the Space Helmet itself. I've been playing Hypixel Skyblock for quite a while. I think this profile is over 4 years old now, which is a decent amount of time. But of course, before Hypixel Skyblock, everyone used to play something else, whether it's a different game or Minecraft to some extent, whether it's a different server. And I feel like having to have that interaction with an admin in order to obtain a special item like the Space Helmet, which is personalised in a really, really cool way, kind of takes away that small server feel from Hypixel and really does cement it as a bigger, more corporate sort of organisation. Seems like a bit of a stretch, but I remember back in the day when I used to play on different Minecraft servers, obviously a lot smaller, you'd see admins all over the place and, they'd be giving out special items and things like that. Not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing on Hypixel's side, I'm just saying it kind of made it feel a little bit more, I don't know, like the personal touch was there. Like, for reference, this is what you'd previously have to do to get a Space Helmet. Now, it's not farm load of crops, it's not have to pay an absurd, well, it is have to pay an absurd amount of money for a collectible, but you know, just that interaction, giving them the coins and then Doctor literally putting the space helmet in your inventory is just pretty cool. Now, I mentioned before that the way that you actually used to buy a space helmet when Doctor was still admin and was still giving out space helmets, or selling them, should I say, you'd have to wait till he's online, spam him with island invites, and if he accepted, you could then go ahead and buy the space helmet, and you were very lucky. Well, that's how it was for a long time, but that wasn't actually initially how you actually got a space helmet. The Edition 1 space helmet, Doctor actually gave to himself in, well, December of 2020, and then sold on the auction house for around about 600 million coins. Doctor actually held a rock, paper, shears contest on his island and gave out the number 3 Doctor space helmet to the winner. This, the player who won it was called Dragon Boy. As we can see, he still proudly shows it off here in his armor slot. So that was December 2020, Edition 3, now valued at over 4 billion coins. Honestly, because it's Edition 3, it would probably be even more expensive than that. I'm sure majority of Skyblock players are incredibly envious of the fact that this player has a number 3 Doctor Space helmet with his name on from over 4 years, well, nearly 4 years ago. It's kind of crazy. Now, I said before that obtaining a space helmet nowadays, it just feels a bit too manufactured, whereas back in the day it was a little bit more personal. It was, you know, it was just more exciting. And I think that is just amplified with the story of the 3rd Doctor space helmet, won in a rock, paper, scissors contest or rock, paper, shears on his island. Honestly, it's meant to. That really is something that will be done on a much smaller server. It is just really cool, it really is. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of the space helmet at the moment? Is it exciting as it once was? I think the answer is probably no. But that's my opinion. Now, you can still get your hands on one of the old style space helmets, you just have to be, well, lucky to get one on auction. And obviously have very, very deep pockets. Deep pockets that will get you a space helmet that doesn't even have your own name on. Imagine nowadays if an admin decided to create an item and start giving it away, and just started listing it on their auction house. It would be hilarious. Minigames like that just make the game more fun and make it feel a bit more together. Like this one here, for instance, it wasn't even a space helmet, and someone bidded integer limit for red stained glass. The winner of the auction was actually given their own space helmet, the number 69 edition. Fast forward 3 years, imagine the profit. Now, in fairness, it makes sense that they don't have something like the space helmet anymore. Doctor, of course, was the main person giving it out, and Doctor isn't an admin, so why would they still be giving out a Doctor space helmet? And I guess that's probably one of the main reasons it's not called a Doctor space helmet, and it's just a space helmet. But something similar to how it was would be really cool. You know, of course, now we have events that held kind of server-wide, but like local events where an admin or something like that can get players together, it just is nice. But honestly, I don't really see something like that happening again. Hypixel is definitely very different to how it was. To be fair, I've always actually wanted a space helmet, and back in the day, I did actually want my own. I never ended up getting my hands on my own, but I've bought one now. I guess it still looks the same. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.